Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down big ideas from a single source. All right, let's just jump right in. The concept we're digging into today, it starts with just one word, a really powerful one: unbelievable. I mean, come on, that's a huge claim for anything, right? But for kitchen cabinets, seriously? So what on earth could make a kitchen cabinet unbelievable? Well, to figure that out, we've got to look at the whole title of this design philosophy: Artistry in Elevation, Asian Classic Cabinetry Design. And it turns out every single one of those words was picked very, very carefully. By just taking them apart piece by piece, we're going to see the whole big picture come into focus. So let's start at the beginning. Our journey kicks off with that very first word: artistry. Okay, this definition is absolutely crucial. See, we're not talking about some faceless assembly line just churning things out. No, artistry is all about intent. It's this idea that a real person, a skilled craftsman, poured everything they've got, their skill, their knowledge, maybe even a little piece of their soul, into making something that doesn't just work, but is genuinely beautiful. And this comparison right here, this gets right to the heart of it. On one hand, you've got mass production. You know what that's about. Speed, making everything look exactly the same, and just pumping out volume. But then, on the other side, you have artisanal craft. And that's about something totally different. It's about celebrating those little unique details, the kind of thing you only get from a human touch. It's about valuing the act of creation itself. All right, so we've got the artistry part down. Now let's see what happens when we mix that with the next piece of the puzzle: Asian Classic. You see, Asian Classic isn't just a look. It's not just a style. It's a whole set of guiding principles. We're talking about harmony, making sure it fits with everything around it. It's about balance, in the form and the proportions. And it's about details that actually mean something. They're not just there to look pretty. There's this deep, deep respect for natural materials. And that's a huge part of what makes this design feel, well, timeless. It's not just some passing trend. Okay, the next word in our title, elevation. This one is really clever. Why? Because it's got a fantastic double meaning. So it's working on two different levels here. First, there's the literal meaning. Elevation is just the hanging cabinets, right? They're physically elevated off the floor. Simple enough. But here's the cool part. The second, more important meaning is about the aesthetic effect. The idea is that these pieces are designed to lift up, to elevate the entire feel of the kitchen. They transform it from just a room where you cook into a genuinely inspiring space. So how does this all fit together? Well, here's the formula, laid out plain and simple. Step 1, you start with that solid foundation of Asian classic principles. Step 2, you bring in that human-centered process, that master artistry we talked about. And what's the result? You don't just get a cabinet. What you get is a functional piece of art that completely changes and elevates the whole room. And this whole process, you've got the artistry, the classic principles, the elevation, it all leads to one final big idea. The ultimate promise of this design philosophy is a completely new way of thinking about luxury. Look, a lot of the time we think luxury just means expensive, right? A big price tag. But this idea, it flips that on its head. Here, luxury isn't something you buy, it's something you experience. It's that feeling you get when you own something made with incredible skill. It's the confidence that comes from a design that will never go out of style. And it's that deep satisfaction of knowing you have something of superior quality. It's a value you can actually feel, not just a number on a receipt. And this chart, it breaks down that recipe for luxury just perfectly. Look at that biggest slice. Artistry. That human skill and soul we've been talking about, that's the main ingredient. That's the core. Then you support that with classic design, top-notch quality, and what do you get in the end? Something that's one of a kind, truly unique. So let's circle back and look at that full title one last time. Artistry in Elevation, Asian Classic Cabinetry Design. It's not just a name anymore, is it? Now we know artistry is the soul. Elevation is that clever double meaning, and Asian Classic is the timeless foundation it's all built on. Every single word has a purpose, a rich meaning, and they all work together. And that brings us right back to where we started. That unbelievable quality, it doesn't come from some secret sauce or rare material. No, it's born from mixing together art, culture, and function. Because at the end of the day, that's what great design does. It tells a story. Which kind of leaves us with one last thing to chew on. A final question. In a world that is just flooded with mass-produced stuff, maybe the truest luxury isn't the thing you own, but the story of how it was made? the human artistry, the thoughtful intention, and all the skill that went into bringing it to life. It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.